All right, so is everyone there?
Oh,
Is everyone there?
yeah, yeah.
Just give me a couple of seconds here.
You're not so you're basically about like they're not doing the operation, so
Okay, okay. So how was the operation? So from my knowledge, you guys are junior team, right?
yeah, very true.
All right. So here's the thing. The format changed a little bit for since the last Hanoi round. I don't know if this is your first time or you're like new, or are you new to
We
ABS?
yeah, we're new. Yeah, we're like completing it.
Okay, so the format changed. So the junior and the senior has different like criterias or like have different like pace sheet, and it's gonna be on like a varying difficulty. But the same principle is there is that you guys have you for your test round right now. Your test round was way easier than what the actual round is gonna be. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So just give me a second. Just give me a couple of seconds because I need to adjust. But uh, I'm gonna be telling you a lot of like confidential work that I have. So just keep it in mind when you like listening. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, Give me a second. Let me share my screen. Uh, would it be easier? Yeah, I'll just share my whole screen.
Lấy cái của nó có sinh viên là video một lần sinh á. Cái đó
Uh, you guys can see my screen, right?
yeah.
Hmm. Guys, give me 2 minutes.
All
I
right.
need a response to some message.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Xem một cái trung không là họ ngồi làm tiếp
All right, all right. I'm done.
okay.
Okay, let's start with our lesson. So we're gonna be mainly speaking about ABS operations here, okay? So this is gonna be my experience in Hanoi round from a lot of my coachings and from some experience I have in the China round I have also as well. I'm gonna do some very basic introductory to everything, a lot of my strategies, and then if we I'm going to go very fast here because we only have 2 hours together. Usually operations class usually take up 4 hours because we have to go through a case study and that we have to like test it out and apply everything that we learned as well, right? So from something like this, but because we have such limited time, we're gonna have to go really fast here. The applying of it is already 40 minutes, and we have to like break down and like answer and then like find all the correct formulas to everything that you need to do, okay?
Yes.
Okay, so I will go into slideshow mode here. I hope you guys can see it. But
Yeah,
the key concepts to ABS operation is how it's similar to income statement. That's how I really see ABS operation anyways. It's simply that you have to account, okay, what's your revenue stream by obviously selling your product, right? By in one region and in another region, your revenue stream can be different, but this is basically the money in, okay? And you have to account for cost of goods. This is material cost. This is storage cost. Uh, Variable costs such as salary for your workers as well, right? And from that, you can get the revenue stream, the money that goes in your business. You can calculate your variable cost, which is cost of material, cost of workers, fixed costs such as marketing, product quality index, and management index. And then you can start calculating from there, which is also the index that I talk about is your fixed cost. And then after you get the money in, subtract your money out, it's basically going to be your gross profit. And that's the money that you really determine how well you guys are doing. No, no, not gross profit, net profit. So as I said before, it's very similar to an income statement if I have to make like a comparison here. So as I said before, this is a lot of confidential material, but I'll still show you, and I hope you guys can like learn a lot from it. Okay. So this is, as you can know, or as you have already seen, is a market report from a lot of people. Wait, no, from your test round, right? You already seen something similar to this,
Yeah.
or have you not? Okay. This is the market report for my round one in Hanoi round. Okay. So let's do a in-depth breakdown of it. You guys might see a lot of unfamiliar things in comparison to your market report, but it's gonna be pretty similar because the test round is like a very simplified version. It's just trying to um get used to the system anyways. But they've talked, I hope when they introduce about operational round, they have talked about PQI, they have talked about marketing, and they have talked about other stuff similar to this, correct? Yep, they have. Okay, so let's do like a analysis here, okay? This is the round one, and as you can see now, is that we have a net profit of minus 380,000. Can I talk to you? What did you have in your test round? What was your placement? What did you do? Just tell me what was your train of thought when you did your test round?
Oh, so firstly, for the first round, we thought that when we submit like in an individual operation, it will like just buy the product, and then we need to submit again to like sell the products, and then we like submit it too early, like 2 or 3 minutes into the round. Yeah. And then we we can't do nothing. Because like we didn't know how the system worked, so all we did was like produce, and that's it. And then we got like 21. Yeah, 21st rank. Yeah. But then
Oh, so you're like bottom rank or
yeah, like, we're like 21st out of 30 something. 30 team. But
oh, that's still fine, right? Oh, so they're including senior and junior in this round. Okay, that's fine.
Yes. And then second round, like we like we did hire some like uh sales agents, and we bought the market report, and and what did we buy? And then we started selling because we bought two for each city. Again, we had two cities, which was Shanghai and Shenzhen. And then we started selling because we only produced in the last round. So this time we only sold.
because we were out of money, and then we also had to take another bank loan for like 2 million something. So we just sold the products with like 100 more than the average price. And yeah,
Okay.
And we got
I've
to like 12th place or something.
12th place. So what was, wait, do you see your market report for round two?
Oh yes.
yeah,
We
Wait.
can send it to you.
Yeah, we could send it.
Yeah, that would be incredibly easy for me then.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
back.
Incredibly helpful.
Uh,
100 up. So you managed to sell out all your product.
we're not really sure if it's
In the second round, we actually sold out all of our products that we produced and get vòng một. Từ vòng một, vòng hai mình cộng lại bao nhiêu product mình vòng hai sell được hết ấy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That being produced skill, not much, not that much. Much. Even how did we run out of money?
Mình produce
Somehow we ran out of money.
We're
Đang bên cho anh làm cái market report của với cả cái xem từ của bọn con.
nhưng mà cái đấy tận 40 phút bây giờ anh xem rồi.
không xem cái market report thôi.
Bạn làm gì còn cái với cả là cái của bọn
Wait, what team number are you?
10 with 10.
10.
Which one?
Do you not know what a PQI is? A product quality index?
Yeah, and for the second round, we tried investing like 10 years or something, so it didn't change
We
anything.
put the
Because we were
policy
like just experimenting around.
You have a case sheet? You have the case sheet, the one that I sent, something like similar to you.
Mày gửi anh cái nào đó? Experience. Sao?
I didn't understand that. So
Do you have the case sheet? So like
Oh,
the paper they give you.
Oh,
outside.
the paper. Yeah, we do have that. Chụp.
Okay.
Ta chụp rồi, thế nhưng mà hiểu rồi. Ta gửi lại.
chụp vài lần. Đấy.
Hơi mở.
yes.
Xem và
Same.
xem cái gì. Tôi xem rồi.
Đây.
Xem cái nào chơi.
Không đúng.
Elections.
Okay. I've seen everything I need to know, okay? So from what your problem is that, okay, you got some mistakes with the calculation in the first round, and then in the second round you didn't have any PQI, but you still managed to sell out all your products because you have a relatively low price and a good marketing like investment. Is that correct? Something along that line, right? And the thing is, I feel like you guys got a little bit lucky here because I feel like having no PQI is a very detrimental effect to your like how your product is sold, right? So PQI is, let's just think of it as how quality your product is, right? If you buy new shoes, what would you rather, like a really well-made shoes or like some Chinese knockoff, right? Really, you want some like really well-made shoes because then you get high customer satisfaction and something like that. PQI affects like around 15% of how your product is sold, but because you have such low pricing and because there's a lot of market or people that are interested in your product still, so it's fine. And thirdly, you guys had 100K in your marketing, which is good, which is fine, right? So let's start. I'm gonna still have to go fast here, but let's go back to the slide that I have, okay? You guys made some really good things that I've seen, and I think we can apply it and work from there. But round one here as well, right? You can see that our net profit was negative 380,000. Usually, you don't really want a negative number for your net profit. Um, because that means you're just basically losing out on money. And the only reason why we ended up at 7.4 mil was because we had our project bonus. Project bonus comes from our auction round, and our
Oh,
placement was okay, but not the greatest, okay? So what did we do wrong, right? So the worries that we have for our operation round is that how does the calculation work? How would people input their wages for worker? You guys didn't have to do this, but it's a part that I think you really need to consider here or there. What's the appropriate pricing strategy for me, and what's the risk that could occur if X thing happen? Is usually what I always ask myself, and every time I make a decision, okay, if I do this, what could happen to how my product is sold. So a very common example is that, okay, if I put my product at a very highest level, what is gonna happen? Okay, I could potentially gain a lot of profit because my profit margin is significantly higher. So if I sell out all my product and I have a higher price compared to my competitor, if they sell 1,000 unit at the price level of 10K, then they'll get like 100K, right? But if I sell it at 15K, then I get 150K, or 50K more than them, right? But the risk that could occur is that I don't sell out all my product because my price is higher in comparison to my competitor, something along that line, right? So it's the things that you need to really account for when you're talking or when you're making all your decisions, okay? Think it through. You have 40 minutes in your actual round, and you really have to be adaptive here, okay? But as you can see, we had a graph of our team. Our team is the number one graph. But as you can see, in comparison to other team, our team had a really big compound growth. To at the end of our round, we had 103
Wow,
million.
that's impressive.
So this is one of the strategy that you could potentially use, and it's basically an all-in strategy. You're all in on everything that you have, and you really risk everything, right? Would Now we can go back and talk about the strategy. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not, but I need you guys to pay attention about how this could potentially relate to the last thing that I talked about. What's the risk that could occur if X thing happens, right? So how does the calculation work? I'm not gonna go over how you do the formula yet, but basically for our round one, we had the correct calculation. We had all the calculation down. We planned to make 1,000 product. We made 1,000 product. So because of that, we didn't make any failures with our calculations. We made the correct sales, or like the sales amount, right? The amount of product that we want to create. And there wasn't any wrong calculations here or there. So strange. So we made the correct calculation to our product. It's not like we made like we expect like 10,000, but then in reality we made a calculation mistake and we only got 5,000. It's not like that. We did the correct calculation. So what is the actual problem here? As you can see, right, round one, our price was 6,000, which is higher than the average price. Our salary was 3,700, which is average is 366, and our net earning was negative 300,000. No, negative 380,000. So we did something wrong here, and really it's not the best scenario, right? But it's not even that bad because we still managed to sell our product, and I'll go over it later, but this is a really good thing. So what did we do wrong, right? Even though we sold out, we made the correct calculations, we still did not profit. Would any of you guys like to try to think like why? Okay. We sold out, right? We set the price at 6K, we made 1,000, we sold all our products, so we made a 6 million revenue, but it's still not enough.
Yeah, that's right.
No wrong calculation, no nothing.
So like
Okay.
at the start of your calculation, you still calculated like some profit, right?
We did calculate some profit and we did say that we're gonna break even, but we made actually yeah, we low-key made a calculation mistake, but it did affect our like how much
Oh,
product we were creating, so it doesn't matter that calculation mistake. It was just additional costs that we didn't account for. All right, I'll give you just 10 more seconds before I start talking.
okay.
The answer is in here, by the way.
Không được. Không như không được.
All right.
We
So,
don't.
all right. So as you can see, first thing, right?
Không like the
Management, my management index here, right? 700,000. Price, the management index is 4K. That's a lot, okay? And as you can see here, our quality investment was 700K. So in comparison to you guys, right? Our product quality index was 700. It was really high. And in comparison to you guys, when you guys set your PQI at 0, but you still managed to sell out your product. So from what I'm seeing here is that my management investment, my quality investment, and my marketing investment, which is 1 million, is way too high. Secondly, maybe my pricing is lower than what it could have been, okay? But it's not all bad, okay? By selling out all our product in our market, we had the highest market share in our region. What does this mean, right? Highest market share just basically mean you're a big company in that region. Let's take an example, right? Uh, let's say you guys are Apple. Apple has the highest market share in to the phone industry because a lot of the most people all have iPhones in comparison to like some other brands such as Huawei, right? They have a lower market share because they're less well known, less people have their product. And because of that, Apple has a very high competitive power because they have a lot of market share in that region. This is what people often call a monopoly, right? Or something along that line, but something similar to a monopoly where you basically have a very high market share and you're a big company in that region. A big company means that you have a high brand recognition. You have a lot of people knowing about your product, so it's easier for you to sell your product. Okay,
So
and
is
it's basically yeah.
so is it like easier to sell your products in the next round? Or...
From my experience, is yes. They don't really
Oh,
talk about it, but from my experience with the system in China round, especially when we weren't the one that sold, where we weren't the one that has the highest market share in our region, right? And that we had a similar PQI, similar marketing or management investment or something along that line, right? We have a similar competitor, but they have higher market share and they managed to sell out all their products while we did it. Something along that line, right? So this is what I see, but I feel like having a high market share just indicates really good things to your business overall as like a small conclusion, right? But as you can see, right, we had a lot of cost, especially regarding our investment. And so because of that, uh, here are 4 conclusions that I made for the round 1 mistakes that I did, okay? First off, in effect, the price is 6,000 as price for 1,000 unit, resulting in 6 million, right? Our cost is higher than that from what we started. So even before the system finalized and we like know that we sell out all our product, right? What if we didn't sell out all our product? We wouldn't get nearly enough 6 million. We wouldn't be able to cover all other costs to the next round, which is what you guys had, right? In round 2, you guys don't have money because you didn't sell out your product. But it's not well, it's like a small conclusion here, but we kind of knew that we're gonna sell out because we had a very high marketing investment. We have a very high product quality control index. So it's not logical if you didn't sell out all your product, right? And so the second conclusion is that our marketing investment, our management investment, and our quality control index was way too high. 4,700, a million for our whatever, right? It's way too high in comparison to what we need to do, especially when we analyze our competitor here, right? And I'm gonna go over it a little bit. Actually, I'll just show you what I'm talking about for a quick second. But let's see here, right? This is my market report for round 1, and we can see that our team was team number 18. We had 1,000 sales volume, and let's look at our major competitor, which is team number 8. They sold 915 sales volume. I mean, they probably created 915 product because it's a really pretty round number, right? So I'm making assumption they create 915 product, they sold 915 product. But as you can see here, they have a higher price level, 607.50. Their PQI is 500, which is 200 lower than ours. Their marketing investment was significantly lower, so 400K. We had 1 million, but they still managed to sell out. And their management index was half of ours, but they still managed to sell out. So from what I concluded was, okay, let's look at my competitor. They have similar sales volume to us, but their price was higher, their PQI was lower, their marketing was lower, their management index was lower. So we need to kind of match them because we know that they found a success with higher price level, lower index. And so we kind of can reflect on that and learn from what their team did. Okay. Okay. Thirdly, just general business knowledge, but it's not realistic to make profit in your first round. Why do I say this, right? In real life, a lot of business main goal in their year 1 of setting up their business is not to make profit because why? They don't have brand recognition, right? Nobody know what their product is about. They don't have any previous customer talking about the product or using the product to guarantee some level of sales. And because of that, the first round for me personally, and what I've talked to my student is that you is a round where you develop a high competitive power first. Here's the thing, right? Your test round, I wouldn't do like a low pricing level at all. Why would I say this, right? Because it's similar to what I had in Hanoi round. Hanoi round for my test round, I basically went all in. I did every trial and error, every strategy that I could think of that really sound absurd. But the reason why I'm allowed to do it is because it's a test round. I'm testing a lot of my strategies, what my potentially ideas is, right? So in my test round, I said, fuck it. Let's just set my price way higher than what the initial average price is so that I can test, okay, if I set it at like this crazy amount, then what would happen, right? And we had a lot of success from that. And we said, okay, from what I learned, a high price is still very, very good. You shouldn't really base your pricing strategy on the initial average price they give you, but you really need to base it on what your desired net profit is. So let's say your net profit is 1.2. This means that every dollar that you invest in, you get $1.2 back. So you get a 20% profit, right? So that's what that's what you really need to look for, not just okay, the initial average price is 2,500, we're gonna set it like 100 higher. It's not something like that, right? And fourthly is that we did not account for storage. And when we say we did not account for storage is a really important lesson here, right? Because we made a calculation mistake, but because we have some money saved up, we have like backup money, right? Basically. And because of that, our mistakes was calculated in what could have been a very wrong situation, because if I have no money by the time where I have to do my management investment, right, then I will have no management investment, right? If I spent everything that I have, and when it comes to pay for my management investment, I don't have any management investment, then 15% of what decides how my product is sold is now gone, right? We have the similar scenario in China round where a competitor went in, or in China the system is different. The pricing fluctuate, right? And we had like a really negative EV where the cost was higher than what the average is. And so because of that, we didn't have money to spend for management investment by the time comes. So we didn't have any management investment, which is really bad when it comes to selling out our product, and we didn't sell out our product. So that's a problem, right? And that's why I personally believe that you need to have some level of money saved up. You shouldn't go all in all the time, right? Now, let's start talking more, right? Round two onwards. What do I do? From my mistakes, or from what I've seen from other times, or from the market analysis in round one, right? The mistakes that I've seen in round one and how I aim to improve. At the time, I just did kind of like okay, if we stay at the same level, right, then we're not gonna make any progress, which is of course because we're the only way we make progress here is that other team messed up, which is we you shouldn't really depend on that. But what do, right? We push the price up to 7,500. Actually, I'm not sure if it's around that range. I think it was more like 7,000. But now, because we know we have now established a competitive power and becoming a stronger brand in that region, 25% competitive power. That's really good. That's the highest in our region. So I feel confident from my marketing investment from other teams, or what I've gathered from other teams, and from what I've seen, then it's gonna be a good thing, right? To invest on a lot of these things. And I've reduced my marketing and quality control index by a significant amount. And from that, we still managed to sell out our product, right? So I've learned from round two, okay, I still managed to sell out all our product by, even though I pushed my price up and I lowered my indexes. And so I kind of learned like, okay, this is a working strategy. So I keep continuing that to round four, round five, and snowballing it from there. Okay. Our PQI and our marketing was lower uh than I would have personally wanted at the end of round five, but it still was fine because why? We were the highest teams. We were the biggest brand in that region. And so because of that, it kind of works in our favor a ton here. So personally, what would I do, right? From my Hanoi round, I went all in every single time, and I just pushed our price up to a very significant level. and I really pushed my PQI to like a very low point, to like 50, something along that line, right? And would I recommend spending everything every time to maximize profit? No, not really, because even though we found success in our Hanoi round, uh, we kind of didn't learn a lot from it. And when we went into our China round, we expect, okay, this is gonna work for me, right? This is a working strat. So, what? How much different can it be? It's very different. The level of the level of how your competitor really affects how your business is. And when they were going to China round, where our competitor was significantly better in comparison to the villages we have in like Hanoi round, right? We really found a lot of struggle. And if you go all in every time, you really have a lot of risks that could occur that you realistically you never want to have in your thing, right? You want a clean run, you want to sell out all your product every single time, you want to get all the workers every single time, and that's really all is there to it. And so, what do I say as a business, right? What is the most important things that you need to have? And it's very simple. As I always made my point, is that you need to sell out all your inventory of products. So when you guys had your round two, right? You guys, okay, we had a lot of products, and we really didn't sell out. We didn't sell any of it in round one, so that's an issue. And because of that, your main goal in round two, as you said before, was okay, let's get let's get the most money here, right? Let's try to get everything that we could from our customer. That's not what you did. What you did was okay, let's put the price level around average price so that we can sell out all our products, and that you really didn't go all in with your pricing levels, because what you guys were thinking probably is what I'm assuming here is that I want to sell out all of my inventory, and I don't want it to be too greedy because it could really negatively affect me, which is a good mindset. Because it is like taking the least amount of risk possible. Of course, you have trade-off is that you have very low profit margins. No, you have low profit margin than you could have, and realistically, you wouldn't make that much progress in your placement. But you guys did, so it's fine. But overall, what you learned there is that okay, we really need to wait. Is round two like a reset, or is it like
It's the same thing.
It's
Continuing on
it's
from
continuing
okay?
from round
It's
one.
round two.
So we had like 2,000 products from round one
Wait,
because
what's the money that you start off on?
Four million.
4 million.
4 million, and then you ended at 6.3 million, and your placement was 12, so it was fine.
No, we
Uh,
had debt too. We had like 2 million in debt, so we had to pay that up.
uh, okay, so that's a really interesting that you said, and we can talk about a lot of strategies from what you just said, right? But here, one of the I didn't know it was you, but one of the people that I've talked to, one of their question was, which region should I choose? And what I talked to my team, okay, this is the case study I have in China round, by the way. So very confidential, but I mean, you got the screen recording, but I really expect you guys to not share this to a lot of people here. You guys could get into a lot of trouble. I mean, I'm already finished with the competition, so basically a lot of the risk is on you anyways. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, is that all these regions, I can make some level of justification to all of them, okay? any reason, any regions really work, but there's also you in your round, you guys definitely have a lower amount of market that you can enter. You guys have like four or something, but all the justification here is okay. The first thing that I would look for is max loan. What do you guys think about loans in general?
Then you like help. It's a source of fund, but when you loan too much, then the interest rate is
It's
It's
too
a-
high for you to pay.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but we also look for like cities with like quite high loan levels so that because like
it's just in case.
yeah, it's just in case like you need more money. For example, you like spent all your money and you don't have enough money to produce in round two anymore. So in that case, you have to loan lots, and so we need to choose a city with high initial max loan.
All right, so that's your justification. I see the logic in there. Of course, you guys are saying, okay, um, I mean, a loan is okay, but we feel like the interest rate will affect a lot of our cash flow, and that okay, you have a different opinion. And here's the thing, right? In real life, interest rate will never be this low. And a thing in business that you will learn, and the very simple concept is opportunity cost, right? Uh, if I didn't do this, what's what's the cost of what it could have been, right? What could have been cost? So it's well, I didn't take the loan, but my opportunity cost is the cost of what could have been like my profit or whatever, right? Is the profits, the big profits, the big market share that I could have gained if I were to have taken the loan before, right? So let's make a very simple comparison here, right? Is that your team, the team, no, everyone started off with 10 mil, right? And if you were to take the full 5.5 million loan, you will have 5.5 million more to produce product, to hire more employees, to sell more product overall, because you have access to higher marketing investment and whatnot, right? Just basically higher amount of fundings allowing you to expand your product or your business a lot more. And a 2% interest is menial. 2% of 5.5 million is what? 100K, right? Um, 100K, if you think with the benefits that you could have gotten by simply selling your product, right? Selling your product at a higher like profit margin or like a higher price than what your cost is, your like your revenue by selling your product by itself is gonna be higher than what the interest rate are. So that's the first thing. Second thing is that uh because you guys are producing more, you guys are getting a higher level of market share, right? Higher market share is always good. And that's a benefit that does not account for like just your cash, right? But it's a benefit that can really help you guys with selling your product, which is always a thing that you need to consider about. And because of that, here's what I've always talked to my team and what I always recommend with my team is that take the full loan. In your first round, you shouldn't greed and try to like maximize profit every time. What you should do in your first round is you put your net profit margin just a little bit low, right? 1.2, 1.3, where you guys will get 30% on return of your investment. But what you do get is the guarantee of what your product is sold, how much product you are to sell, and because of that, you really develop this brand, like this brand overall, like this market share overall in that region. Um, and because of that, that's what I always recommend my team doing. Thirdly, what I look for is all the product price, the unit cost, and sort of wait, sorry, my nose. Oh my God. Like I wanted to sneeze, but like I couldn't for some reason. But all the material costs will stay the same. So a lot of regions where their material cost is low, okay, that seems attractive because I can produce there and I can have lower costs, right? But oftentimes the disadvantage of that is either you have a lower bank loan or that the population is gonna be lower and the initial average price is gonna be lower. So it's a struggle that I often see, right? And I see you guys in your round, right? You guys decide to sell out to 3 different regions, right? Three
Yeah,
different
yeah, yeah.
regions.
resort, that's our last resort.
Like we tried
Uh,
selling in like 3 regions because we don't know if we don't know what will happen. So we're just gonna test it because our first round we did
We
like
did have-
horrible mistake anyway. So
okay, so as you already said, right? 3 different regions, you try and mitigate a lot of risk. But let's think it more logically, right? What's the benefit of selling to 3 regions in comparison to selling to one region? Let's start thinking here a little bit.
Like
So like in one, you get to reduce the costs, like the sales agents and marketing. Really? I think so because you have to pay like less for this instead of if you just
I
pull
would
it
say
off
you
in
have to pay more, right? Because if you sell it to one
one.
region, you only have to get one sales agent. You only have to get one place where you put your marketing investment in, right? So I wouldn't really say that.
Oh yeah.
What I would say is that you get access to more places you can sell, right? Let's just let's think about it, right? If you were to sell your product in one location, you're selling your product in Hanoi only, right? Your customer will only be Hanoi people. But if you sell it to Ho Chi Minh, if you sell it to um other regions in like Vietnam, right? Now the customer amount for you guys are not just Hanoi people, but you're selling it to the population of Ho Chi Minh people as well. You're selling it to like population of like Ha Long people as well. So it's a positive in terms of how easy you can sell out all the product is. But what are the disadvantages, right? First of all, I already said this, but your cost is gonna be a little bit different. Of course, because you guys are gonna have to get more sales agent, right? You have to buy the market share for it. You now have to get the marketing report, no, the management, no, marketing investments for it, right? So now you have a lot more costs, right? And thirdly, as I've talked about, and what I've always been saying is market share, because you're selling your product to different regions, other regions or whatever that you have different levels of market share, right? Yeah, in one region, because you're kind of spreading out how many of your product is sold, it's kind of on the level of, okay, I have a market share in this specific region, but what could have done is that I sold in one region and have a really big market share in there instead, and it would have developed with very high competitive power. In Hanoi round, this is what we did. We only sold in one region, and we found success from that way, right? But that's only because we were the top leading team by such a huge margin, right? We had such a huge market share that it didn't matter. Like this is our team. This is our team. The biggest, we were leading
crazy.
them by like 20 mil, right? So whatever we did, no, by the end, right? We were leading them by 60 mil. So it didn't matter what we did really. But if I were a middle team, a team that was in the middle, what I would do is that, okay, maybe avoid the region where this team, this big ass top one team is, right? I would avoid that region if, especially if you're selling into only one region, I would avoid that region. What I would do is that for me to guarantee my sales is that if especially if you guys are facing issues of selling out all your product, right? You spread to other regions. Maybe in your first round or your second round, you don't focus on like expanding to other region. You focus in your own area. But if you're facing any trouble with selling out your product, a very easy way for you guys to solve that problem is just selling it to different region because it's way simpler that way. Okay.
Yep.
All right. That took like a okay amount of time to just basically talk about it. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Wait, we are all right. We have an hour left. And okay, let's go fast here. But let's move. Usually, what I would do is I would give you guys this, and I would tell you to apply it. And in next class, I would tell you to really like work on it, right? All of these, the slide was supposed to be 2 hours, but I kind of went fast. I would kind of just focus on like the really main details. I really haven't talked about salary a lot here, but which is a very big component because it can really affect your risk as well. But let's just go on to how we do our calculation, okay? So here's the thing. This is the formula that I have, right? But I don't know what your junior regions are. Maybe you guys could have costs or something along that line that is not accounted for what I do here. So when you're looking at my formula, right? What I think you guys are really smart at math, so this is not a problem for you guys, right? But I need you guys to understand the system at the start so that if any formula changes occur or if any problem occurs, it's not just okay, I don't know the system, it's you like knowing okay, I can adapt and knowing this, right? The thing that we're working on here is this two equation basically is one component equal 4 experienced worker plus 5 hours plus one component material and one product is 3 experienced engineers plus 8 hours plus five component plus product material, right? So for one component to be made, you need 4 workers and you need 5 hours for it to be produced. How many hours is in a workday?
4.
95-ish.
Yeah, 8 hours. How many work days are in a month?
21.
28.
21, something
21.
21, right? Because you don't work on weekends or whatever. And you get 21 working days. Each round is a quarter, so 3 months, okay? So you guys have 63 working days. 63 times 8 is the amount of hours that your worker is gonna work, okay? And similar to your product, one product equal 3 experienced engineer plus 8 hours plus 5 components plus one product material, right? So let's just start working from the starting equation, right? First step, choose your region. I've already talked about this to you before. There's a lot of ways or a lot of factors. Oh, wait, I forgot to mention one thing. Before you're picking in your region, right? In your test round, did you see the amount of people that pick in one region or in another region? Why do you think you should what I really recommend is that you wait a little bit, right? You wait until other people are picking the regions, and then you see the leftover regions, right? You see that okay, this region has small amount of people that entering it. What does that mean? That means that you have very low competitors in comparison to what you have if
Yeah.
you went into the big region where everyone is in there. And if you're it's similar to real life. If you're competing with everyone, you have to set your price low, you have to set your salary high. And if you're in like a small amount or small competitor region, right, you can really have the higher profit because what are the customers gonna do? They're gonna select all the choices of the competitor. There's no competitor, so they're usually just gonna buy from you instead. So that's a big thing that you have to account for as well. All right, so these are the formulas. Calculate average product cost. Okay, so firstly, you need to calculate the employees. Uh, wait, give me a second.
I think we don't have the like
Tại vì là
the
đây mình
salaries,
simplified.
the salaries and like the working thing.
Không, tại vì mình là simplified mà. Mình cái mình
Nó sẽ
hôm nay là mình
Ừ.
simplified để mình biết UI thôi ấy.
chứ còn chắc là phần đấy
Mình nghĩ là vẫn có trong thi thật là có ấy.
So like, can I ask like in Hanoi round, is your test round like simplified or is it
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same?
If I'm,
Oh,
it's been like a year, so I can't say I remember it too much. But it's gonna be way harder.
oh, okay.
Thì vào kiểu cái strat mà mình lấy với thị phần xong mình kiểu lấy full long. Kiểu check
Oh,
SES.
So like the actual round is gonna be harder than the test round. Like there will be more equations.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Trước mình mới vào mình đã ngồi về kiểu
Oh my god. That's kind.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be way harder.
Oh.
cho cái simplify rồi mình đã chết rồi. Kiểu không hiểu gì ấy.
Christmas Day.
Uh, but this is okay. So, all right, let's speed it up. We don't have a lot of time, and I have coaching sessions right after this. What's
Oh.
wrong with you guys? This is why I contacted you guys early, so that you get the help early. Because I get every single fucking team that comes to me on the last day of the competition after the test round, and they realize, okay, maybe it's a little bit more difficult than what I really expected. And that's why I already told you. That's what I talked about in the talk show. It's really difficult, and you guys, and this is the test round. It's a simplified version, and you guys can't even like really work on it and get top one, right? And that's a lot of problems that but it's kind of like a learning experience, right? Now you kind of know what the problem that you have is and what you really need to focus more on. Okay, so let's go over it, right? Okay, find the average production per day. So 4 workers is equal to 1.6 component a day, right? Because you need 4 workers and 5 hours, right, to make one component, right? So it's you get 8 hours in a day. So four workers equal to 8/5 components a day because you get 8 hours a day, 5 hours to produce. So you get 3 more hours you start producing. So that's why you get 0.6 component a day extra comparison to the one that you have, right? So 1 worker is 0.4 component a day. Multiplied by the working days is 63 days. So 0.4 times 63 equals 25.2 components per quarter per workers. And you repeat this for your engineer. And repeating this for my engineer, I don't know if I see this 25 and 21. Okay, I can apply it here also. This is my app. This is my apps, right? What is it? Yeah. one worker, 25. Oh, you did. Here, right? One engineer is the 21. Okay. So you guys got this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, so like
Next up,
so for the round, we have to like use a newly created spreadsheet to calculate our things, right?
you don't need a spreadsheet. You can calculate it by hand, but it's gonna
Oh,
be, yeah, it's gonna be harder here.
yeah.
Okay. And third round, your experienced worker become experienced is like a very it's like not the biggest difference in mechanism, and it's gonna be a little bit hard to explain it to you, but just think that your workers usually produce 0.4 components a day, but now because they're 10% more effective, they will create 0.44 components a day, because 0.4 times 1.1 is 0.44. Okay. Next up, you calculate your average component cost. Average cost per component is quarterly worker salary over quarterly worker quarterly component output plus component storage cost plus component material cost. And quarterly worker salary is basically the monthly worker salary that you put in right in their calculation times 3. And the other thing is whatever, right? The component storage cost and component material cost was given to you in the case data, as you can already see. And that's what you really get in your average component cost here, average cost per component. And you guys can see it from here. Let's move quick because I hope you guys are understanding this, by the way.
Yeah. It's kind of.
Kinda note it down. And sorry, usually I get like 2 more hours explaining everything, but I kind of have to go fast with all the
Yeah.
formulas here, okay? And then you get your average cost per product, right? We're working really in order here, right? But average cost per product is quarterly engineer salary over engineer quality product output, whatever, right? And plus product storage cost plus product material cost plus the average cost per component times the number of component per product that you guys already set, right? And it would look roughly around like this. Salary, you guys have that. Quarterly average cost per component. Just follow the formula and it's good. Of course, if you guys have any changes system like more costs like storage costs, right? Then you no, they don't give you storage costs, and you take the storage costs out, and it will look like this, look like that. And next up, you determine your output level, right? So allocate roughly 70% of your total budget, including backlink, towards production budget. Okay, so they start off, their budget is 13 mil, their production budget is 9.6 mil, right? This is the amount of money they're gonna use in order to make all their products, right? 70% of their allocate. It's we give you 70%, but you can push it to 80, you can push it to really 90 if you want, but you guys are gonna take a lot of risk on that thing, right? Output level is basically just product budget over average product cost. And so product cost is 4,000, right? Seven mil divided by 4,000 is 1,750 product to be produced. Okay. And as you can see here, right, we have our total worker required from no, you guys haven't gotten that, but our output level is 2,456 according to this. Right? And that's what we input in on what our on our products or whatever are, okay. Yeah, that's what you guys are gonna put in. The total workers required is 487 116, and all these total engineers salary per term. Wait, I haven't gone through this, but this is the output level. This have already include.
Biết cả total worker coverage. Total cost.
And the easy way for you to calculate your cost is you simply times your average product cost times it with your output level, and that will get you the cost that includes salary, include material cost, storage cost, and basically everything. So you times two of these together, that's all your cost there, okay? As you can see here, as they've seen there, average the sum of material costs, no, their fixed cost is basically no, this is just worker salary. But their fixed cost here is I mean this spreadsheet is a little wrong because it's not fixed cost, but they get 9.7 mil as their total cost, right? But if you just times these two numbers together, let me just see if it's correct. Would be really fucking weird if it's not. Yeah, see, similar. 9.8, 9.7. I just made the number input easier into a rounder number, but it's that's how you calculate all your costs. The computer already, you guys can see, they do it for you, but this is how you can think of it, right? So this is a made spreadsheet. I feel like it's gonna be very hard for you guys to make your actual spreadsheet. So just apply it by hand because you guys haven't really gotten much practice in. If only you guys have contacted me before, then you guys will have gotten a little bit more time in, okay? Right there. Uh, wait, another PC is connecting.
Uh, what?
What?
What's PC?
Okay.
PCI.
Em mà biết lên PC là ai?
I didn't share this link with anyone, so
What? How? À đây.
Wait.
yeah. But that's from it is, right? But from your calculation, right, you've only gotten the output level, right? The amount of product that you want to create, and that's it, right? So next up, we determine what our amount of workers are, because you also need to input that into your calculator, right? That's why next up we need to calculate our employee. Total workers required is product output levels times number of component per product divided by worker quarterly output, okay? So what? My mouse is stuck. So as you can see here, right? My total workers required is 25 times E10, so 5. Divide by C17. Wait, no. D23, so 2456 times 5, divided by 25. So that's my total worker required. If it's an odd number, always round up. Total engineer required is always this. And I'll give you this slide so that you can like work on it at home and see if you guys are correct. But I will not give you these Excel sheets right away. I just want to tell you ahead of time because I've seen people talk to me about it. I can't do that. I don't know what you guys are keep messaging me on about with it. So this is how you would do it by hand, calculating employees. So number of engineer here, product output by engineer quarterly output to 1471 divided by that. And 104 needed, 430 needed, which is roughly similar to what we had. They have different regions, so the cost and the salary is different, but we have roughly the same number, which is a very good indicator. And there we go. You apply the same thing to your total engineer required, but it's just product output level instead of product output level times number of component per product. And yeah, Next up is calculating indexes, okay? Indexes is a really complicated system that a lot of teams are talking to me, okay, what my index should be. Should it be like 25? Should it be 10? No, our range, it varies from round to round, right? You can't expect one index to really apply every single time to all the rounds that you are gonna do, right? Let's say that you guys are selling a lot of product because in the previous round you guys didn't sell out all your product, right? Your indexes are expected to be higher so that you because you have more product to be sold, correct, right? And let's work from a similar logic as well. Round one, if you are really trying to sell out all your product, right? What should your index be? It should be really high so that people are really convinced to buying your product, even over convinced, so that you really get that guarantee to selling out your product, right? So my general rule of thumb is that put your index high in round one or round two, in round two, something along that line, right? So that you can really guarantee a lot of your sales here. And in the next round or the following rounds, right? You can lower your indexes to around 200 to 400 in that range, right? If in your first round or second round, maybe put it into like 400 range, right? But you can lower it to 200 depending on your like outcome, right? Because you can't I can't just say okay, just use 200 to 400, right? That's not how it works because a lot of problems that could occur that could offset or create like a different value or whatever, like different outcome that makes you change your index, right? But this is the general rule of thumb that you need to kind of follow, right? And so as I said before, you don't have any index for management, no, for marketing, by the way. So you kind of have to have like a good intuition in order for it to be really well made. And but it's like it's really dependent on you. I can't give you any formulas on this because the PQI, the management, I can see it, like I can see the actual number of how it works because they give you the index, but for marketing, it really is varying. If you guys are really confused on it, maybe you should maybe set like the higher end of what your other index is and use it based on that. But it's gonna be a lot on you for the marketing and investments, okay? And a general rule of thumb that I've seen is that uh if you guys are trying to sell out all your product, having a really high marketing really helps in selling. Emergency savings is basically what I would do in order to mitigate risk, right? Allocating roughly 5% of total budget towards emergency savings is pretty good, right? And I'll discuss the logic of this later. Yeah, but whatever, right? Leftover cash, uh, this is just basically you calculating the cash left over after everything, right? The calculator in the system will do it for you, but you should calculate everything by hand so that when you look at your market report, seeing all your costs, you can see, okay, did I do all these calculations right? If they're roughly the same number, you're doing well. But if one number is way off or if something is way off, you're doing something wrong. Okay. Also miscellaneous expense are like sales agent marketing reports that you buy one time or you buy like multiple time every round or like an option. It's not really needed. But actually always buy the market reports and always have one sales agent. I don't know what I'm talking about, okay? But you always need to have a market report because it gives you a lot of data because through that data, as I said before, is the market analysis, right? Um, Okay, investment is three main things: PQI, product quality, marketing, and management. Keep PQI around 350 to 400. I've talked about it before, but it should be 200 to 400. And management index, a lot of times it's gonna be cheaper. So I would suggest it to be I would suggest it to be somewhere around 800 to 1,000. But you can also go 200 to 400 with your management index. It really depends, right? And the rest of your leftover cash can go to your marketing. It so oftentimes with this system, it could be that you're putting a lot on PQI, you're putting a lot on management index, and you're putting too much on marketing. It could happen, right? 0.7 as no, 70% of your total budget into production is not a fixed thing that you need to think. What I need you to do is to adapt and to really like not be too fixed up on how the formula kind of works. And adaptations is adjust based on performance, low profit, and consistently sell out. You increase price, you reduce your indexes, and you increase output level. But if you're unable to sell out, you should decrease price, you should decrease product output, you should expand to other regions as because you have more sales channel and you need to increase index investment. And after round done market analysis, as I have said before, this is a really crucial thing because you're looking at a lot of other competitors and you're analyzing, okay, what is wrong with them? What I should do? What areas could I improve in? And something along that line, right? And data and the things that you can see here is the data of your profit. What is important? This is how you can double check if your calculation is correct or not. Because a problem that we had in China is that our team member they had a detrimental like effect, right? So they thought the component output was 8/3, but it was 3/8, right? So they kind of reversed that or they had the order wrong, and that is really bad. And because of that, we had all our system wrong. We already know it, but by double checking your calculation, going through your finances, you can really determine okay what is going wrong. Especially you can see as well through your human resources, and you can see it through your whatever, right? And lastly, competitive average. Is your salary good, and did you get all your planned workers? What do I say when I say planned workers here, right? It's the amount of workers that you plan to get and the amount of workers that you actually got. So we plan to get 152, and we got 152. So we got all our planned workers, but there's scenarios where you don't get the amount of workers that you really want. God, I'm getting sore throat. Give me a second. Where is it? I kind of forgot. Okay. Um, where is it? Okay. So this will be kind of like the last thing. Oh, I kind of really go fast here. But this is gonna be the last thing that I'm gonna talk really mainly about. But this is human resources, right? This is the amount of workers that you're gonna get in comparison to what you're planning to get, right? So you can see here our salary was higher than average, right? Because a lot of times, a lot of teams, they will see the average salary that they are provided here, right? They will kind of see it, the initial salary, and they just use that number, which is fine. But you need to think about the what ifs, right? What if they put the salary way high, right? What if they put the salary low? What what can happen? So my general rule my general rule of thumb is that you need to put your salary plus 100 in comparison to what the average salary every time or every round is, right? And why do I say this, right? I had experience in China round where we plan to get a lot of workers basically, right? But what happens is that a competitor enter into our regions, right? They enter into our regions, and what they did is that they offer really high salary. Offering a really high salary means that, okay, let's make an example here, right? If a place and if two places, right, both of them offer the same working conditions, right? One place offered $25 per hour, and one place offered $20 per hour. What, as a worker, which company would you go to? Obviously, the $25 per hour. It would never make sense for you to go to the $20 per hour here because every workers want to have better pay. And because of that, I would say put your salary higher than expected, because what's the problem that could occur with not getting the amount of salary, the amount of workers that you want, right? Is all these things below that you can see here, right? And low salary effect, layoff cost, salary reduction penalty, worker promotion, engineer promotion, and a lot of these, no, all the three main things is layoff cost, salary reduction penalty, and low salary effect, right? Low salary effect is what I'm really focusing here, is that if your salary is lower than average, if your salary is relatively low, you cannot ask as many employees as you plan to, and some employees may quit. So you don't get the amount of workers that you really want to, right? And because of that, you might have to face trouble on as well. Let's just go over all the costs right now, and we can like explain it to them, explain it better. Layoff cost is when you lay off your employees, you must compensate them with 1 month salary. That's why I personally say you need to have some level of emergency savings, right? What if you can't pay off all your workers in the next round because you didn't sell out your product because of like an unexpected problem, right? You really don't want that to happen because you have to lay off your workers, you have to compensate for them for 1 month salary. And because of that, having this like safety mechanism really mitigate a lot of problems by having that emergency savings, right? It's an obvious thing that people often like. It's obvious, right? You can't just spend all your money every time and expect it to go well. But in all the time that I see in ABS, and from my personal experience, a lot of teams spend all their money. They spend every single dollar that they have, and they don't have any left over in case of anything bad that could occur. Salary reduction penalty is when employees quit while you have a reduction in salary. You must compensate them for 2 months' salary. So basically, never reduce your salary no matter what. Which is basically a normal, which is obvious. No, if you guys reduce your salary in any of your rounds, I did not coach you. If they ask you who coached you, just say no one. I didn't coach you because I've already told you about salary reduction penalty. If you guys did the thing that you did and reduce it, then it's not on me, it's on you. But low salary effect is the biggest thing here, right? Layoff costs, of course, you can mitigate it by just having emergency savings and having a good round of selling out of your product. But low salary effect is when your salary is relatively low, right? Let's go back to the concept that I talked about at the first round, opportunity cost, right? What's the opportunity cost of not getting the amount of workers that you could have gotten, right? The amount of workers that would have worked for your company will be helped with producing more products for you to sell, right? If you guys don't get the amount of workers that you need, then your ratio is off, and that you kind of don't produce at the level that you're supposed to, and that's the problem here, right? And secondly, if you guys are having low salary effect, um, it means that the amount of components and the product materials that you purchase, so that the amount of workers that you like try to add can make the exact number of product that you want to, is gonna be wasted because there's not enough workers to use up all that component, to use up all that product material that you would have used, right? And all the engineers thing, everything, right? So low salary effect is basically always have a higher salary in comparison to the average because you get to always remain competitive in comparison to all your competitors, right? And because of that, you can mitigate a lot of risks from it. Um, Also, you need to think of it in this way, right? If I were to offer a very high salary, then my competitor, which may have like lower money that I have, right? They will either have to either also increase their salary, which increase their cost, or don't and suffer a low salary effect, right? And because of that, I kind of always suggest you to have a high salary, not only because it mitigate the risk of you guys not having the workers that you need to, but it could also sabotage other teams that are in your regions and that are trying to operate, and you can kick off a lot of performing teams, okay? Um Management index. And do you have any questions? Do you have any other questions? But I need to get a charger real quick.
Test round
À.
phải India.
Test round sẽ thành cái này.
Thằng thắng rồi.
Ghê thì
Không,
Cần phải thắng được.
không, thế nhưng mà thực ra thì test
Họ đã
round
phải làm việc kích chắc.
mình mà biết thực tế thì chắc bây giờ mình học cái ngành xong test round test round
What?
chỉ bấm.
Do you have any other questions?
No.
no. Yeah.
Oh, like about the home city, like can you sell, do you have the ability to sell the most products in the home city?
Yeah. I don't remember this, but when they introduced operational round, right? Did they say that you get a benefit from like selling to your home city?
We didn't hear it. I don't think there was.
Yeah, so
I
we
don't know.
thought like
I remember it says yes,
oh
and from your screenshot, right? The amount of product that's sold most is in the region where
yeah,
your home city is, right?
it's
So
just
I kind of
realized.
so that's what I really expect would happen.
Yeah.
Because you have the same price, you have the same marketing investment. Maybe the population is different, but you still manage to sell significantly more in your home city, which is, from my logic or from my conclusion, selling your home city is significant. That's why we as a team for our Hanoi regional round, even though we sold in one region only, we still managed to sell out all our products every time. Okay. And do you have any other questions regarding everything?
They
Can you like re-explain for me? I just like missed a few details about like the components and thing and like components,
What details?
like how components make like a product, like how material yeah, like
Oh, the formulas,
yeah.
how is calculated. I mean, oh, I just deleted. Sorry. I mean, sure. Wait, did your team not note it down?
oh we know it down, but the formula is a bit
Oh, okay. So I'll share this. I'll share the slide with you guys.
okay.
I
Thank
swear to
you.
God, if you guys open this slide and I see it in your competition, they ask you who this is from, I will kick. I don't know. I will find you down. I don't know. Oh, wait, that's the.
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
In the
Nice.
We're
I
Không
only
mean,
phải là
what grade are you in about in
we're
anyway?
like going to ninth grade this year.
Okay, you guys are still young. I've okay. So by the way, this year is gonna be hard as hell for juniors. I personally coach two teams in junior, and they seem they're they're the one that made two of these spreadsheets, and they contacted and trained with me. Okay, so uh, really your problem. If you guys see a team from Vin School Harmony, that's my team. Okay. You can go up and you can say, we got similar coaching with Nick
đấy
and
lợi
Hong
thế của
Wing.
option này.
Hong Wing, okay. And okay, I'll it's the other guy that asked me about going through everything again. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go really fast, right? Find these are employees production, so average production per day for workers is gonna be 1.6 component a day because for one component to be created, you need four inexperienced worker and 5 hours of a working day. A working day has 8 hours. Okay, so it's 8/5 uh 8/5 for four workers to produce components. 1.6 component is 8/5, and so one worker is just 1.6 divided by 4, so 0.4 components a day. You multiply this by the working days per quarter, so always 63. 0.4 times 63 equal 25.2 component per quarter per worker. You repeat this for engineer to get your engineer whatever engineer production. And there's a system of experienced and inexperienced workers. Just think of experienced worker as their output 10% more, so 0.4 components per day. Now their output 0.44 components per day. Okay. Now 2.2 average component cost is average cost per component. So quarterly worker salary divided by quarterly component output plus component storage cost plus component material cost. This is all given to you in the sheet, so you can just base it off that. And we already talked about worker quarterly component output, which is 25.2. And you also know the engineer by doing the same thing as I said before with the component, no, product output. And quarterly worker salary, you times 3 of your monthly salary input that you set it into your calculator. When you put it into calculator, remember what it's gonna be times 3. It's gonna be times 3. It's not every round, it's not 1 month, it's gonna be 3 months. Okay, if you guys make that mistake, then it's on you. Don't even put it on me. And component storage cost and component material cost is given in the data sheet that you already provided here. And the worker quarterly component outputs were calculated in the previous step at 2.1, so 25.2. Okay.
So for the hours per day and the like day per month, do we have it on the sheet or do we just need to
No,
remember?
I just told you it. Okay.
Oh,
The hours, I've talked to the organizers about this, and usually in a month, right? You have like 20, no, you have 20 to 22 like working days, but they average it to 21, and you have 63 working days. They don't talk to you about it, but you kind of have to ask them about it. It's I don't know. It's a okay system. Average cost per product you calculate through this formula. Quarterly engineer salary divided by engineer quarterly product output plus product storage cost plus storage material cost plus average cost per component times number of component per product, which you already calculated here. And as you can see, number of component per product is given to you in this formula already. So one product, 3 experienced engineer plus 8 hours plus 5 components, right? So that's what I talk about when they say number of component per product. Determining output level. So roughly allocate 70% of total budget, blank loads included, towards production. So as I said before, budget here 13.8, production budget is 0.7 times budget, so 9.6 mil here. And through that you can determine your budget, your output level by production budget divided by average product cost, which we already seen here, and the output level we already seen here by production budget from our calculation here. And calculating employees, total workers required. This is how you input it into the calculator on how many workers that you want to hire. And and total engineer required. All these, you already seen the numbers, right? Product output level, you already seen that. You already seen number of component product, you already seen that. Workers quarterly output, you already seen that, right? 25.25. Product output level, so wait. Yeah. These, right? Output level, right? And that's where you really got to, right? Sorry, I have a sore throat. Who would have thought talking straight for 2 hours fast would make you slow down? Yeah, you already seen all these numbers. Total engineer required is total engineer product output level divided by engineer output quarterly output. So you guys can already see in this formula, right? Number of engineers, so product output we did at 2171. Yeah, 2171 product divided by engineer quarterly output, which is 21, which is what you guys can see here, right? And yep. Tiling index, we have 3 million to spend, so 13 mil times 0.7. Times 0.07 is my leftover cap for safety, right? And the other one will be for PQI, for management index, and for marketing, because you have leftover, so you just spend it all on marketing, because this will secure market share, competitive power. And I hope that you guys know how to read, and I know that you can see all these formulas of your what is it, PQI and management index, so that you can actually calculate it right. If you calculate it wrong, it's not me, it's on you guys. Very simple calculation. They give you all the numbers already. First round, there's no old product, so you just divide quality investment divide by new product, and that's it. And yeah, very quick. And the big thing with your market report is by having the level of adaptations that I've already said before, and through your market analysis, you see who is the biggest competitor, you see what their pricing strategies, you see all their PQI, and you kind of can learn from them, and you can match them so that you can have a better performance overall.
Okay.
All right. So we kind of finished this up a little bit early, 15 minutes, that's fine. And because there's nothing that I can really talk to you more about, because that's all there is in terms of just pure knowledge and not applying. If only you applied it, right? In terms of pure knowledge, this is all that I can go for you. And wait, did I share the slide to you?
Yeah, you do.
And so this is it. I hope you guys do well in the next round. If you guys get first place, I do expect a bonus. If I don't see it hit my bank account, I will get mad.
No.
But
I will remember
yeah,
it
I really,
only
I
if
really
we
do
actually
hope.
get gold.
I really do hope you guys get gold. My team, I've coached a lot of teams. The teams, the level of training you guys have really, really doesn't matter. It really is based on your ability itself. The team that I showed to you, right? They got gold, they got first place in everything. That team, they did the same thing as you. They had their test round and they realized they fucked up and they should have gotten the training. And so they contact me and they have like this brief 2 hour session exactly like this. I'm getting flashback here. And they did well. They did really well because they really understood what I said and they don't get fixed up on on the just the formula that I tell them and just following orders, but they have like that good level of adaptation that I need you guys to kind of have. And yeah,
Thank
you
you
guys.
very much.
So can you like
You
send
guys
us
tomorrow.
your bank account to
Yeah,
send
yeah,
us
I
some
will
money?
share it to you. I
Send
will
us.
share it to you guys and just I hope you
Thank
guys
you.
do
We'll
well
do our
next
best.
class, okay? Yeah, I hope you guys do well.